Hello, everybody. Welcome to episode 219. Dissonant Waves. Back at it, everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ritz and Trix are here, and we have plenty of bands to cover. Anyone have anything to say before we reveal the list of bands that you would have heard if you finished the last episode?
I delayed this episode 24 hours because I was out for 5 days and had about a combined 10 hours of sleep in between all of them. So, turns out when you do that, you really fucking exhaust yourself.
Yeah.
And I today visited one of the final resting places of Kurt Cobain.
And tomorrow I have to get up early, so I might not sleep. We'll see. But I'm here now, and that's what matters. This week, we are covering, from me, Summer 2000's John Krasinski, and Gingerbee's Our Skies Smile EP and their first single, Raindrops. Ritz, you chose Sover's Something Worth Fighting For, and you are in my dreams from Kisses.
Mm-hmm.
Trix, you chose
Yes.
osoroshia kakumei's Don't Play Here, and the Down Bad EP by Daughter Bat and the Little Thing.
I did.
All right. The cards are on the table. In what order shall we count them?
Chicks, you choose. What's the first one?
Let's start with. Let's start with Sober.
With Sover, okay.
Over.
I just knew the second I said that Trix is going to pick one of my picks. Sover, Wollongong-based folk slowcore band. I think we did one of their singles with the 10 tracks to finish the year, didn't we, Dominic?
I believe we did, yes.
Yes, I believe On Your Side was on that. And yeah, the album got released pretty early this year. To kind of give the reason for why I picked this, it's something I was going to pick, but also I picked it with Kisses, seeing as that's a very similar sound. They ended up playing a show together anyway, which kind of validates that take. So, yeah, Sover.
You ever listen to a band that you just don't have any expectations, you just let it wash over you, and it feels like listening to music for the first time again?
That's adorable.
That's what this feels.
It's a very calming album, just from its instrumentation. It has even the songs like I think it's Takazo is how to actually pronounce it, which are darker. They're not like really scary, despite that kind of haunting vibe. It's still just very kind of soft and gentle.
There's definitely like a feeling of like something going on. I'm not gonna say like horrific or anything, but unease, I suppose.
Yeah, that's probably a better word to use.
Mm-hmm.
But it's not like
And look, to be
overwhelming.
honest, I kind of like this band because they sound like I guess a more minimalistic version of Goalie's Anxiety.
Interesting. Yeah.
I can see
Like,
that.
there's definitely song structures and just the way that they use a certain instrumentation that are very similar to stuff that we heard on the Odyssey album. I can't remember the full title. But like songs like Bearings feel it doesn't feel like a song itself that is on that album, but the way that that instrumentation is used and builds up feels like something that could have easily been on it, which is like why I gravitated to this. I like that album, so I was gonna like something that reminded me of it.
Understandable. Trix, what did you think of it?
Sure.
I thought this was fairly solid. I listen to this a lot while washing dishes because that's when I listen to music at work, and it is not good kitchen dishwashing music.
Can
But
imagine.
this is like good after shift, cool down, chill music, good instrumentation. The interlude tracks stood out, which is a rare thing to say, I feel. And like in a good way, not like they're these
Yeah,
stand out because they're bad.
they're not like shitty skits on an album.
No.
No, yeah.
I mean, they're more designed to make
And
you
yeah,
feel like you're going crazy, maybe, but
Hmm.
or to just unnerve you a little bit.
And when you do take out the interludes, you do realize that this is a shorter album than you might think. Even though those interludes don't go for that long and there isn't that much interludes, this is basically a 30-minute album with those interludes.
Yeah.
So it's definitely not something that overstates its welcome, which I think is quite beneficial, seeing as their sound only goes so far on this album. It's not stretched out to infinity and beyond or anything like that. It's a pretty grounded release, which is fine because this is his debut.
I would argue that
Yeah.
it's kind of a full Sonic experience, and that like does it matter where one song ends and another begins?
Which I wouldn't fully agree with that. I do think there is some individualism to the tracks in this.
I mean, yes, they're definitely.
Yeah.
A song like Ghost
Yeah.
sounds different than a song like Winter, but
Yeah.
it's almost something you kind of just gotta let happen, let play, just let it bear out instead of like trying to nail down track for track what's what.
I'd agree on that. And look, this is even, I feel like, on the worst take you could have on this, or like the kind of like worst in I guess opinion on it, it's still not really an album you can hate. It doesn't feel like that. As we're saying, it's a pretty calm album, but
Yeah.
it's not like it's not like crap easy listening or like just very soft does nothing. Yeah, I wouldn't compare it to say I guess I'll compare it to like Smile in a sense where I'm not really a big fan of Smile, but that is an album that is still seen as it's seen as an album to help people come down from a massive high. And even in my I feel like my take of my Smile is I can't really put that as like a bad album or anything like that. I think it's just an okay, and that's kind of like the vibes that I get just from this. Not in the sense of my personal opinion. I think I like this album a lot more than Smile.
Don't the
But
Beach Boys
it
album,
feels-
yes.
Yeah. I feel like this is a very hard to hate kind of album because it just got a really great calming nature to it.
I would say it's more calming than Smile. Smile still has its moments of like, I don't know if we call it anxiety, but definitely like, oh, there's like a thing happening. There's some like pressure points.
Yeah. Don't hold up. Come back to me. I forget what I was going to say.
That is fair. Yeah, I can see how this couldn't be great kitchen music. This isn't really something to get you going. But it is still great music. Yeah, I was interested in this band when the singles were coming out. I'm glad to see they kind of lived up to that excitement. It's not really much more to say other than that, unfortunately. Other than just like, hey, it sounds like stuff I like. It's a really good folk slowcore album.
The album art is very nice and pretty.
Yeah.
It's like Shaky Graves took a bunch of edibles and recorded an album almost.
I don't even know if I agree with that one.
No, I wouldn't agree with that one. But
it's not. I just had to.
I like the
the
attempt. I like the attempt. But
and there was no new Shaky Graves album this year, Ritz. So you're in the clear for now.
Oh, there wasn't. That's actually Shaky Graves Day happened. Holy shit!
Yeah, it did. It was just a single.
Didn't even notice.
Yeah.
Is he
so
all right? Is everything good in Shaky Graves land?
Hopefully not. Let me be.
Okay, I now need to find another fan album.
There's plenty of real stuff to cover too.
Oh, I know, but I like the Ritz's pain when I cover fan albums.
Fair enough.
Yeah, so I don't really think there's much more to say. It's not really an album that's got really strong standouts, but it's an album that doesn't really need to have that. As you said, it's a sonic experience from start to finish. I think it's got a really nice, consistent quality to it. I usually like to say consistent to a fault, but I don't think that actually applies here. It's just the the sound's good enough the whole way through that I don't mind. Yeah, that's all I really want to say. Favorites from it: Takazo, On Your Side, the single that we did, and Bearing is definitely one of my favorites. I feel like my least favorite's probably going to be towards like the end, so I'd probably pick something like I Won't Lay There or even Lullaby.
I would say for me, I'm probably looking at Winter being a favorite, Takezo being a favorite, maybe Lullaby. My least favorite's probably something like Bearing or On Your Side.
Nah, I can't agree with you there, Dominic. You aren't invited to the slumber party.
It's okay, we'll fall asleep pretty fast listening to this.
Well, Ritz, you're gonna hate my take then, because I'm gonna throw out a blender purely for the circumstances I listened to it under, and but shout out the interlude tracks again.
I'm not actually gonna fight you on Blender in that one because I can actually see how someone can listen to this and call it a bit of a blender. But I also, like I said, it's consistent. But I also don't think that means it's consistent to a fault in this case, despite there being many other albums that I have used that term with.
Well,
well, that was my album, so I should probably pick the next one. And I like to fight Trix, so I guess let's pick one of yours.
Okay.
You choose which one of yours.
Let's talk about the shorter one, I guess. Then, Daughter Bat and the Lipstings, an Australian artist.
Mm-hmm.
Forget where out of Australia based, but this was just like algorithmically fed to me in my garage rock playlist, and I fucked with it, so I figured I'd throw it on the podcast.
They're from Sydney.
Gotcha.
And probably inactive because their last release was 2023.
Probably.
Let me see. Any posts or something that they've been active? No, they're active.
Ooh.
They just haven't done anything for a while.
Yeah, so you're not always releasing stuff, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is just Egg Punk.
Yeah.
You know, it's Egg Punk, but I'm also thinking about the way that Lorenzo throws filters on some Petite League tracks. I don't see it's a little similar.
It's bubblegum pop in a way that's just done through a haze of distortion.
And it gets more and more distorted as it goes on.
Yes.
You know what? It's bubblegum egg.
Yes. Well, I think a good essence, the essence of a lot of good egg punk is just bubblegum pop. You need a sickly sweet chord progression, and it needs to just earworm.
Because I won't disagree with Dominic as well. Yeah, I won't disagree with Dominic because I definitely did get that kind of Petite League filter vibe on this release as well.
Yeah.
Not so much like Petite League vibe, but like it feels like the exact way, that Lorenzo uses that filter is used on this as well. I don't have anything else to say. But then it was just a good listen. Yeah, I liked it. It was good. It was very catchy. It was a short little, a short little ditty, and it was enjoyable. But I don't really have much more to say than that. I don't think it. I didn't think the sound really stood out more than I did to get all my attention, especially seeming as the other release you did probably had a very kind of similar style that it kind of was a bit more interesting.
Yeah, this I kind of just threw on there because it was like less than 12 minutes, and Rats like earwormed its way into me, so I just wanted to talk about him, throw him on.
And that's fair. That's fair. It is still a good release. I would recommend people give it a listen and see how they go, but I can't tell you anything more than that.
Yeah, I mean,
this rips. It's 12 minutes. Go listen to it.
That pretty much says it all.
Yeah. I don't even think it's 12 minutes.
No, I don't. I think it's like 11:42.
According to Spotify, it is 8 minutes and 24 seconds.
Yeah.
Yeah, shit. It's less than 10 minutes. Go listen to it.
Yeah. You want to do the other one of yours, Trix?
Sure. The Japanese artist too. I'm not looking at, so I'm not going to touch
Osoroshia,
Kakumei.
Kaku. Yeah.
Yes, thank you. Also algorithm fed, and I'm like, this rips. Let's throw it on the podcast.
Yeah, one of these days you're gonna say it was algorithm threat, and it's gonna be a fucking AI band.
I'm
Probably.
so far 0 for 0 on picking AI music.
Congratulations! I hope we keep that streak going.
I intend to because I research enough to make sure they're real band. I would not put AI on the podcast.
If we ever do, and we find out later, we apologize in advance. It's never intentional.
Yes, it is never intentional. In fact, I think one of the bands I'm picking next week, or the band I'm picking next week, might be the closest to AI generated we've had, but it's so out there, it's not. You'll see if I decide to pick it.
That makes me worried.
Yes.
Okay.
So anyway, Trix, this is basically if Snooper was shoegaze.
Yeah,
That is not a bad combination by any means.
oh, it is not. This
Nah.
rips so hard.
This is
So
cool.
it has, yeah, it definitely has that same kind of egg punky thing that I'm talking about with daughter bad, but it feels like it's pushed it into a bit of a different direction that I don't think I've heard much in egg punk. So like, whilst I can't tell you much standout yet because that is a sound that is enough is muffled enough as it is, or even just egg punk and shoegaze themselves are. It's one of those ones where I think I need to give a lot more listens to it to properly process. But just going off the kind of vibes of it alone, and just listening to it, yeah, you're right. It does rip. It's a really interesting way of combining those two genres, which
Yes.
kind of it kind of feels like no one's really done that, but it just makes sense.
Yes, it does. It's a wall of sound in a way. It's loud guitars, synths.
There's distortion, there's lo-fi. It's kind of using the whole span of that kind of stuff to make something that's more punky.
And they're good musicians, which is always a bonus.
I'm not gonna say that like this was my favorite of the week or anything like that, but I will say
It might be mine.
I dug some of the longer tracks that were trying, I think, a little bit more. Or like there's that part in Yucky where it just kind of stops, it goes on again.
Yucky fucks. Maybe Psychopaths as well has a fun guitar part.
I just want to see if I can find the lyrics in the English translation to "May Older People I Hate Die," which was also a good song.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you're right. Like the longer ones on this don't outstay their welcome or anything. Like they're worth the runtime. Which,
no, yeah.
I mean, it's only 4 minutes. It's not like 4 minutes is fucking forever and ever.
No, but
But-
in punk that's pretty long.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. But yeah, no, this was good. This is one of those ones that I wish I knew about last year, but didn't.
Yeah. I don't think I found them until this year. I think I posted them in the stuff to potentially cover when I stumbled onto them.
Yeah. I mean, it's better late than never because they're still active. So hopefully they'll release something in.
Yeah, we will for sure cover their new stuff.
Yeah, in a cycle. Yeah. I don't think it like. I don't really want to think about where this would affect my rankings and stuff because I feel like for albums probably wouldn't, but like I feel like if I had the time and put it into a playlist, it might have been a song or something there. But that's just it. Sometimes you just miss stuff from the last year, especially when it's kind of as underground as this. Where are they? Are they Korean or
Japanese, I believe.
Japanese? Yeah, I excuse the ignorance. I'm not really too good with determining by the text.
I will say one of the things that like also drew me to these is that I was quitting Twitter when I found them, and one of the last few good things I found on Twitter was the Japanese instrument modification Twitter.
Ooh.
And so I would just spend like hours looking at weird basses that people had like rewired and put weird pickups in, and so I was picturing that a lot when I was listening to this, and it's a whole different instrument culture over there.
Yeah, have you ever heard of the automaton? Yeah, best instrument in Japan.
I've seen
Well,
those
the
on
one I'm
sale.
thinking of specifically, there's a Japanese high schooler on Twitter I was following who built a I know following a high schooler
Yeah,
isn't a good look.
No, I was gonna say, like, every single word in that sentence was not faring well for you.
But I was purely following him because he made a Fender Jazz Bass clone that had 4 pickups, but each pickup was for the string itself.
But you're on
I
Twitter now
don't know how
anyway.
to. I'm not on Twitter anymore.
You're not following anybody.
She's back on MySpace.
I am back on Reddit actually, and I'm ashamed to say that.
Hey.
As long as Reddit still has the good porn, like it's fine. That's basically what people were using Tumblr for.
Yeah.
Yeah. Again, I don't think there's too much more to say because it hasn't had. I guess I haven't had enough time with this to properly dissect it. Blame the fact that I had a busy enough week, but it's good. This is definitely my favorite of the two that you picked, Trix, and
Yes.
yeah, it's a great highlight that we missed from last year.
It definitely is.
I
And
wouldn't
it's a
put it
great
above
band
this.
to keep on the eye out for.
Since my closest comparison is probably Snooker, I don't think I would put it above the Snooker record, just because that Snooker
I don't
record
think I would
is
either.
really fucking good. But
Yeah.
it's definitely like if you like that record, you would love this too.
I'm looking at my wall right now. I think I'd put it above Hyper Youth,
Interesting.
but I don't
would,
think
I
I'd
would.
put it below Nina Girachi.
The wall being a part of this is a fun concept now.
I'm going to keep it updated throughout the year this year.
This is a cheese sandwich for me because it's again, I haven't had enough to properly dissect a song on this, but it's really enjoyable as an album. I just really like the vibe that was going on.
Yeah.
I think this is more of a U2 album than it is for me, but I still think it's cool. My favorite tracks are Cold, Yucky, and All the People I Hate Die. Least favorite track, probably something like Gals Don't Cry. Maybe Psychopaths.
Favorites for me, Psychopaths and Yucky. No least favorites.
All right, Dominic, you haven't picked what we're doing, so
I'm for talking about Gingerbee again. Early Gingerbee, Our Skies Smile, and Raindrops. I just want to be very clear up front. I spent a lot of my winter break listening to Apiary. I think that's probably a solid 10 out of 10 at this point.
I'm happy for you, Dominic. I'm really am.
But also, I think the gulf between these two releases is staggering. Like, Our Sky Smile, I think is fine. It's their first big release. It's 6 tracks. It is kind of that fifth wave DIY in with some of their kind of like interesting elements, but still very much in that genre, in that mode. There are some elements that even feel like more of the like claustrophobia pop, kind of screaming with a lot of distortion, and then in that way that We Will Back at You does.
Yeah.
But like this and Aviary are so fucking different. It's crazy how much they like up their game from one to the next.
Yeah, this is definitely a lot more of a DIY bedroom kind of release that we had in the early 20s. Now we're in the mid 20s, and yeah, Apiary just in terms of production and just writing, yeah, I fully agree. Is a mile ahead. This feels, and it's the easiest fucking comparison to do, so I'll do it. This feels how I feel about the first Your Arms EP, in which I feel like conceptually it's really cool, but it's not quite there.
Yeah.
It's the thing of this feels like the demo of what they would become.
Yeah, and
Yes.
that's again how I feel with that, because I remember seeing the Your Arms songs live, and it's just like, oh, this is so much better. Seeing these songs more properly fleshed out with actual like instrumentation instead of garage band happening, and that's how I feel like Ask Guys Smile. It kind of goes like there's some really cool stuff like on We Float Together. The outro is fucking really cool, but just going into a full listen, it's like it's hard to fully appreciate all the ideas just because of the way that they've come together. Isn't quite there yet.
Like, you can hear parts of like what would become. Like something like Gingerbee's Lament sounds kind of like a scratch track that Apiary would then like fucking remix and dance on top of and make into something really, really out there and interesting.
Yeah.
At the same time, like, you need to start somewhere. And if this is all just test beds for really interesting musicians and careers in the decades to come, then that's what it is.
I mean, what's kind of funny is that like that year they also did that split with Lobster Fight, Cicada Head, and Godfuck,
Which we did cover.
We did cover, yeah. And now was that Godfuck song? I think was the best one off that. That is just a top tier fucking track for me. I really like the Gingerbee track off that one as well, and that's the same year.
Yeah.
So it's not like it took them long to figure out what they were doing.
And like doing all this remote, like on a Discord server together, I feel like you kind of have to have a little bit of that. Like, how does this work? Okay, we did a single. Now we're gonna do like a bigger release, and we're gonna see how it all goes. And now they've fucking done it a couple times, and now they're even going beyond Apiary into like other projects.
Yeah, the Porcelain Stars is one of them, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Yes.
It's like
most which was Porcelain Hearts until AI decided that they're not allowed to have porcelain hearts. God, I hate society.
Yeah, fuck that guy that stole porcelain hearts.
Yeah. Raindrops, by the way, I feel like is just kind of there. I don't think it's really important to talk about because it kind of exists with the same criticisms that Ask Guys Smile does. You know, it's cool. I like what they're doing conceptually, but like, yeah, this feels like okay. We've gone back and gone to the early stuff, I guess, just to cover it.
Well, I mean, I'm going to be hearing all of this.
Yeah, you're going to be hearing it. Yeah, same with whoever you're taking, but I feel it. You know, going into the case of like, hey, we've listened to the better stuff now, and this is just like, okay, well, this is cool to go into the early stuff. It is still it was more interesting listen when it didn't have anything else out.
Yeah.
But now that they've had it, it's kind of really easy to throw it to the side. I mean, I'm sorry if you were properly there listening to it, which I wasn't really. Like, I was aware of it, but I wasn't really properly listening to it when it came out in 23. I would have more nostalgia and more attachment to it and properly grab onto it. But
I mean,
that, yeah.
This is definitely something that was in the rotation for, that we did that emo summer draft.
Yeah.
This could have been picked. Maybe we would have been more on it then. Like, I don't know. I like the last couple tracks, Our Time of Monochrome and Flood of Memories, I think the most, because I think it elicits the most emotion out of me. It's the most, again, kind of like building up to what they would become.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have much more to say. I think it's kind of all been said. My favorite is though Our Time in Monochrome. I do think that outro is really good. Least favorite would probably be something like Flood of Memories.
I like the last two tracks. My least favorite's probably.
Did I say Our Time in Monochrome as the favorite? I meant We Float Together.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I'll say the last three are my favorite. No real least favorites.
Trix, anything you want to say about this one specifically?
Not really anything specific. It was fun. It went by quickly in the dish pit. It's all right. It's worth a listen.
I will say real quick, I did finally sit down and watch the full video of Gustavo breaking down Pedal Dance.
It's art the way he's describing it.
It's wild. Absolutely phenomenally just worth watching.
Entirely.
And just reminding like, oh yeah, these people are terminally online. These people are in like college. Fucking on like 5th generation memes.
Yeah.
Like you gotta at least the outro to We Float Together being the fucking B movie. Also, we have to point out.
Oh yeah.
It had to come in somewhere, and they got it out of the
This
way.
the EP kind of reminded me of high school with the whole B movie thing, just because that blew up when I was a senior in high school.
Yes.
B movie.
Looking at their samples, and it's Starmie from Pokemon, Elite Beat Agents, and B movie, and also B and Puppy Cat. Wonderful, wonderful selection.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, well, we haven't got too much left now, do we?
No.
No.
We're flying through it.
We're flying through it. It's one of those weeks. You know, we've had a book to read.
Yeah, we didn't have a book yet.
But it's related to this. Let's talk about John Krasinski, Summer 2000. One of those big deal fifth wave emo albums we just did not cover until now.
Yeah. I like this more than Gingerbee,
Yeah.
but I also don't like this as much as the next Summer 2000 album that we did cover.
Ellie Kemper.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ellie Kemper, yeah. Spring 2005, I guess.
I do not remember much of anything from Ellie Kemper at this point, I'll be honest. But
I
feel
remember
like,
liking it.
I feel like this is the one that I think I'm more interested in.
I like the more chiptune-y stuff that was happening on that on Ellie Kemper, and I really like the Asian Go collaboration. I think this one's got some maybe more interesting kind of sounds that they're throwing on, but I don't think it's chaos in how it's structured. I guess really works in making it towards making it an album.
No, it's more of the like classic DIY bedroom kind of like sound of like Bandcamp.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like something like Bob the Habit Builder, very classically done in this style. It also very much stands out for being kind of catchy, fun.
And apparently, Summer 2000 had an album last year, and I just forgot about it.
Oop.
That's on me.
Whoopsie.
Well, there's always a chance to go.
But you know, when we've had a lot of I guess more compressed sounds that we've listened to in the past couple of ones that we just picked, it is nice to see a kind of bedroom DIY one that sounds a lot clearer.
Yeah. Like it's I mean, this in context came out after Your Arms, but kind of in as everything else was beginning, as far as your Home Is Wares and your Parenals and all that stuff. Like Parental released the first album, of course, but this came out before.
The break. Yeah, to see the next part of the dream was the breakout of Paranol. If you knew Paranol before to see the next part of the dream, and you were hipsters or you were Paranol.
We've come full circle to the point that we can look at this stuff in retrospect 5 years later.
Wild.
Yeah. And you remember also in 2021 your favorite emo album came out, Dominic?
Yami Gang?
Yep.
Honestly, Somewhere City might be better at this point. I don't know.
Like there's I'm looking at the emo stuff that came out in 2021. We had the Through the Soil compilation, which had a bunch of them on it. We had the OK Cool as well, which I know it's not kind of considered in the same scene, but they are still like an emo band. Harmony Woods, I think, put out their last album, hasn't done anything. They're like a folk emo band that was in the same scene. They were doing those charity stuff with Home Is Where and Glass Beach. Stomach Book came out in 2021.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at it. It's like it was a pretty fucking big year for the wave of emo.
I look at this and like what we covered back then, and I'm like, would I have preferred picking this over so much Lana Del Rey? Maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can't remember that Lana Del Rey album. Was that the one with Chemtrails Over the Country Club?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only song I can remember that.
And I don't think I also did Blue Banisters.
Yeah, we did do Blue Banisters.
Does anyone remember Blue Banisters?
No.
Didn't think so. Yeah, I didn't think so.
I know one of them was very famous that she sang more raw and people were upset about that.
I'm just looking at everything that was like kind of just on my song of the year that was released in 2021. Like we had the Lord album, we had that Lucy Dacus record as well, which I feel like is a a bit more popular now due to Boy Genius in 23 having a big year. Turnstile,
Ooh.
Ooh.
Wet Leg blew up that year. Mogwai had an album that year with As the Love Continues.
The Forbidden Mitchell J EP.
Yep. Billie Eilish had an album out that year.
Red
Which,
Club's EP.
like,
Good.
It's actually kind of crazy to think about. Like that 2021 album that Billie Eilish put out is probably her least popular album,
Probably.
Yeah.
and it was still really fucking popular.
The Left at London album was that year that we did.
Yep.
Yeah.
King Gizzard did Butterfly 3000. Like, it was a really fucking strong and kind of very varied year.
Yeah. I think this would have fit in really well.
And that doesn't even mention like what was probably like the biggest change to everything in the pop sphere was Olivia Rodrigo's album.
I think going to say COVID, but yeah, that also counts too.
No, well, that was the year before.
Sure.
Yeah. I mean, like, the Olivia Rodrigo one was kind of like people went back into, as they claim, emo when it was pop punk. But
Yeah.
to say that hasn't led to... It's led to a lot of things, you know. You've had obviously the TikTok people who have tried to replicate Olivia Rodrigo in a very disgusting way. Let's not remember Twinkle Twinkle Little Bitch.
Oh yeah.
It almost feels like there's two separate versions of emo.
Yeah.
There's the mainstream, oh, this is just pop punk emo taken from the third wave directly, and then there's like the fifth wave stuff, which is more trying to move the genre forward, but also incorporates a lot of other stuff and is almost just a collective at this point more than a genre. Because what are genres really?
Yeah. Who knows?
It feels pretentious to say those who know, but I don't know. It's when you talk to somebody and they're like, "Oh, I like emo," you kind of have to really check yourself and be like, "Which one are they talking about?" And most likely,
What's
they're
that
talking
quote about
Machine Gun Kelly.
pornography? Where it's like, I'll know it when I see it.
Yeah, it was a legal argument where it was basically someone's act was described as sexually explicit or pornography, and the legal argument was it's very hard to explain what pornography is, but you know it when you see it, and this is not pornography.
Yes. So emo is porn, is what I'm getting.
Yeah, I always describe when people have asked me on the Scrams director, like, how do you define Scrams? I literally use that claim.
Yeah, mainstream emo scram is almost kind of like fucking watching a soft core or like a hard R rating.
And meanwhile, we're into the shit where they're dressed up like a Rothko painting.
Hold on, Dominic. I don't think you're allowed to use the hard R.
You know what I mean?
Life. Anyway, yeah. I don't think I have like too much that I specifically want to say about the Summer 2000 album because I feel like it's a really cool kind of listen.
It's interesting how much of it is instrumental.
Yeah,
but
it's also like everything since it set a scene.
Yeah,
but that scene's kind of now grown on top of it to the point where no one really notices it anymore, and sometimes that's just what an album is.
I mean, I think John Krasinski has more interesting to say than some of the stuff we covered from this time, like the Civil War in France.
Yeah.
I wonder if John Krasinski has listened to this EP.
I hope he has.
Yes.
Is the cast of The Office secretly like watching for more and more output from this band?
Yes.
Like, when is the Phyllis album happening?
Yeah. When? When is the Oscar album?
I mean, Bloomerang is a jump in the other direction, I suppose. But obviously, James Witte-cook is in both Gingerbee and this, so that's another reason to cover it, because it's also going to be played at the concert I'm going to.
Hell yeah.
Favorites for me, to say. I quite like Bob the Habit Builder. I think that's actually a really good track, something that we be hesitant to miss if we cover it. Autumn Birthdays, Trevor Wrong, Guitar E, School Graduation Party, and On Earth. My least favorite, I don't know, Order and Routine. Like
My biggest flaw is that I forgot to look at the titles as I was listening to this one. What was the
This
one
is
that went like
Jesus
math rocky at the start? That was my favorite.
I don't know offhand.
Fuck.
Maybe
Yeah,
on
Summer
guitar.
2000. Yeah, Summer 2000. If you can tell me which one sounded like American football at the start, please. Yeah, that was my favorite.
Oh, it's probably either Lucifer Loves Me or Bob the Habit Builder. Also, shout out to Serial Eater Status for the Simpsons intro.
Yes.
Well, I think that then leaves one more.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Kisses.
Kisses, you are in my dreams. I picked this one because so far it's my album of the year.
Interesting.
Interesting.
It was recommended by my friend who helps run the Scrams directory. This band said a bit on my radar for a bit. Yeah, it basically sounds like the next iteration of the Middle East. So of course I was gonna fucking love it.
I know you kind of presented this to us as Kisses versus Sover.
This is sover
Yes.
because they're both folk slowcore, but they are different albums.
I gotta be real. Like I like this, but I chose Sover.
That's
I
fine.
kinda
Sover's a
got-
good album.
I kind of got some like Tycho vibes from this at points, so I might have to go for this one over Silver.
Like I really like the "Why Are You Crying Until I Want to See You Smile." It's a fun twofer. I think Deli Woman was really cool, but I think a lot of this washed over me more than Sober did. It's just kind of good vibes, good time, good tracks.
I don't think any of this washed over me. I think this is just straight up a very memorable folk album. Like Butterfly Eyes was in my top 100 last year, so obviously that's a standout. But even the slower tracks in here, like Hum and Candy Flip, which happened at the start, are both quite memorable tracks. I mean, Candy Flip is just that sounds exactly like it was from I Want That You Are Always Happy.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like, listen to that Middle East album again, or even just parts of it, and then listen to Candy Flip, and then tell me it doesn't feel like it can fit on that. And it's a really nice kind of change of pace, like that album has as well, from songs like Ukraine or Suburbs getting into that, but then feeling like it's all just kind of happening kind of naturally. It also gets into that kind of like happier folk sound as well with Why Are You Crying, despite that, probably not being a fun title in itself. Like it does quite a lot with their sound. And it having the three different vocalists on it as well probably helps in that sense. Because it allows it allows to work with different kind of ways to fit with those and not kind of grounding it into one sound. Yeah, I think it's just a really, really good album.
Fair.
Yeah, I mean, I think it is very good. I'm not gonna deny that. Like I again, they're both good, and just because one washed over me a bit more does not mean I wasn't like paying attention or anything like that. It's more
no,
just,
no,
like,
of course not.
Silver really felt like I'm born again in a way. This is just good.
It's very adorable, and
Yeah.
I think this is just it's just the moments on here which I like. I love it. Like it's a real like fall in love type of. I guess Sova has that kind of vibe as well, but it's one of those ones like my friend. I'm gonna absolutely ruin his life by mentioning it in public and embarrassing him. Now he mentioned that he's recently started seeing somebody and he's been using this album to kind of soundtrack his life as that's happening.
That's cute. Hope it works out.
It's definitely a really fucking good vibe to do that with.
Yeah, it's not as foreboding or uneasy as Silver is. It's worth mentioning.
Yeah. I know the other friend who I saw at the show with, so like he really liked this album. So it's also a really hard album to pick a favorite from. And seeming as I think it's like a high quality album at its peak, that's a pretty good compliment to have. Like, I don't think I put this into 10 out of 10 category or anything like that, but I do think like this is the first true great album of this year for me, where I go like, yeah, no, this will probably be in my top albums when we get to the very end of the year.
Fair.
I'm very curious to see where that falls for you. I'm curious if it'll all last for me.
Yeah, I mean,
Where will it end up on the wall for me?
Yeah, I really like this album. It's one of those ones where I feel like it's a bit harder to explain everything else to it and just go listen to it. Favorites for me: Queen of the Suburbs, Hum, Candy Flip, Butterfly Eyes, Deli Woman, and despite it kind of being one of the more simpler tracks and closer, like It Will Rain is a really nice little closer. Least favorite, yeah, it's kind of a weird thing when I do this, but like I think my least favorite is actually the opener, Under the Ground.
I like the last 4 tracks quite a bit. Special shout out to Deli Woman. My least favorite track's probably Queen of the Suburbs.
I got to disagree with you so heavily on that one.
I don't.
But I'll fight you in the car park later.
I don't think I have a least favorite. But I will probably say Deli Woman is also my favorite.
Let this stop.
It's we are
episode needs.
Sorry, Dominic.
This episode I feel like is so tranquil, so nice. What this episode needs is just like some light rain in the background, just kind of soundtracking it.
I hear the wind howling outside of my apartment.
So
nice vibes.
Shall we rank the albums?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll start. I think my least favorite out of all this is probably Ask Eyes Smile. Then I'm gonna put Daughter Bat in the Lip Stings. Then I'm gonna put Summer 2000. Then this is where I might like change it later, but I think I'm gonna do Sover, and then I'm gonna do osoroshia kakumei. If I pronounce that right, probably I haven't. And then number 1 will be Kisses.
Interesting. I'll go next. I think I'm actually going to throw my own pick of Daughter Bat and the Lip Stings down on the bottom. Then I'm going to put the Gingerbee stuff lumped together next. Then we'll go for Sover, Summer 2000, Kisses, and then I'm going to put Don't Play Here up top.
I'm going Daughter Bat on the bottom. I think Osoroshia Kakumei just edges out Gingerbee and being next, then Gingerbee, then Summer 2000, then Kisses, and top is Sover.
Well, we got this is a short episode, so before we go into I guess into what we're doing next week, do we want to all hear about the week I've had for why I had to delay this 24 hours?
Sure.
Sure.
Yeah, so I went to Brisbane, then back down to Sydney, in what I called 5 nights of the Oz Scrams directory, because I managed to basically book 5 days in a row where I was seeing acts that were on the Oz Scrams. On night 1 was Symmetrical Dogs. It was the chillest out of all of them because there was probably about 15 people there, including the bands and the bar staff. Very, very small, which I'm honestly kind of upset because and this band's come all the way from Perth, but they were just happy to do it. And they were really fucking good.
One of the best live shows you've seen, which I believe your friend said it was.
I don't think it's that quite that level, but it's also probably a different vibe in Perth as well. Yeah, I mean there were the amount of band members playing throughout Fall 3. The 2 openers were both solos, so there were only 5 there. So there was about 2 people working, so about 8 people who were just watching. Probably about that. Might get the number wrong, but it's just an estimate.
Yeah.
It was disappointing to say the least at the turnout, but it's great to see that that the band didn't let it get to them and still put on a really good performance. Hopefully later in the line, people recognize that band, even if it's not their favorite. It's like, this is still a really good band. But in big contrast, Kisses, Sover, and Daily Toll the day after was packed. Same venue. And it was the most full lazy thinking has ever been for a show that hasn't required tickets. So like the only time I've ever seen it have probably the same amount of people, to be quite honest, was Jeffrey Lewis, and that was an international. That was a ticketed gig, and just everybody was there for Kisses and Sover and Daily Toll as well. I mostly just said Kisses and Sover because they are the ones we covered today. But yeah, it was a massive contrast in those three. I don't know what else to say other than it was just really fucking beautiful to listen to all of them.
So that's two nights.
Very nice and very nice and slow, but it was lovely. And then I had to find myself waking up 5 hours after I got home to get myself on a flight up to Brisbane, which I probably had the most amount of time to sleep then, but I just couldn't, which is probably why the start of me getting fucked up yesterday happened. But I saw Nirvana, the band, that showed a movie to start off, which really fucking good. Like, so many times people will plug a comedy and say like, oh, it's one of the best movies I've ever seen or one of the funniest things I've ever seen, and you watch it and it's just okay. This is like the first time I can recall in a long time going into a cinema and watching a comedy and it actually being worth doing that. So
yeah.
believe the hype on that one. And then I basically went straight from that to Craning at season 3, which Dominic, you love John Max.
Yeah.
Yeah, Craning was really fucking good live. It was their last ever show whilst they were a Brisbane band as they're moving down to Melbourne. And I guess just the whole Brisbane community just came for one last dance before they hit the big times. But it's a very intense sound that they have.
I can imagine.
And watching that just in a small venue, the new season 3 venue, chef's kiss. I didn't get much sleep that night either because I got back to my friends at probably about 12:30, and then woke up a bit later, but still went to see our Sound Festival, which that was about 11 hours. It felt like of I don't think it was that bad. I think it was more like 9 hours of screamo bands from Australia. I feel like this is I have to go into it in more depth at some point later in my life. But it was really cool seeing this whole mix of the old heads and the new heads performing alongside each other. To the North and Arrows were both really fantastic during their reunion sets as well. Blind Girls, I think I've said it many times, are always a really fantastic live to watch as well. Ended up doing a small little interview for the Scrams directory.
I saw that.
Yeah, as well, which is published now. Shout out Lost and Found George from that show. After that all finished, I got 4 hours of sleep before I went back onto to the airport and back on a plane. From that plane, I didn't go home. I went straight to another festival called Summer Break, which a shout out to the Summer Break crew, members of Half a Crest, Juno Eclipse, and I don't think the other ones are the bands, but she helped her organize it as well. And that went from 1:30 p.m., which I got there about 1, to 10 p.m. And that was also helped helped by the people who run Sydney Music, and they said it better than I could, so I still their words. But they had no PR whatsoever, no kind of backing to do this. It was just a bunch of young kids who decided, fuck it, we're going to do a DIY festival at a venue. About 300 tickets, sold it out.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
We'd like to hear.
Yes.
and it was pretty well run. Like it had that big problem in which, because it was sold out, the upper stage you couldn't get to because it would get to capacity, which is a case of like, you need this festival to sell out, but to get everybody to see everything they want, you need to be at a bigger venue. And it's a bit of a lost cause there, especially since I don't think the people who own the Lord Gladstone own multiple venues. And shout out to Lord Gladstone for running that. And it was really well done. It's cool to see Fear of Horses play their last ever set, which is it's a shame that they've ended, but they ended up on a high note. Well, it's supposedly their last ever set. They said if a miracle happens, they'll reform. So a bit of a shame to lose another band, but it also didn't feel too bad when you saw all these newer bands that were playing and coming up. Like Half Request played, Juno Eclipse closed out the night. Sunrun, which is, the old heads, happily tagged along. Blue Diner and the Genevieves both came from out of state to play the show.
Hell yeah.
It was a really well done thing, and it ended up with me getting back home at around midnight, so fucking tired. I crashed about 1 a.m. It felt like, and I woke up and I couldn't get out of bed.
Wow.
Been there.
It was I've had many times in my life where I've been tired, but I can get up and wake up as I do it. This is probably the first time. I keep in mind, I've come back from the show from Canberra at 4 a.m. and still was able to wake up and go and do my work day. I just couldn't. Maybe I'm old. Maybe I just had too little sleep. Maybe both. That's why I had to delay this recording by 24 hours, because I saw 40 sets in 5 days and I had less sleep than I was supposed to.
Yeah.
Understandable.
Yeah.
Sounds
We've learned that
fun though.
We've learnt my limits. Let's just learn that. Keep that one out. So
looks like he's got to work out to try again next year to top it.
Yeah, maybe. But I feel like with that, there's only one album that I can pick for next week, Dominic.
Okay.
I think it has to be the Craning album.
That makes sense to me.
I'm not going to pick anything else, so it's just going to be the new Craning release. What is it called again? Distress Tolerance.
Okay. I'll go next. I would like to play a game.
Okay.
And this game can end with us doing 2 hours of listening, or 15 minutes, or somewhere in between.
Okay.
I have 4 genres I want you all to pick from, and you're each going to pick one.
Okay.
I have avant-garde, goth, grunge, and bluegrass.
So repeat them again. You had avant-garde, grunge. Yep.
Grunge, goth, and bluegrass.
Avant-garde.
Grunge.
Okay. We are going to be doing
No. Goth.
Okay. You picked one of the longer ends. We are going to be doing Angine de Poitrines Volume 1 for avant-garde. Microtonal band that dresses like aliens.
Yep, fair enough.
And for goth, we're going to be doing Bloody Kisses by Typo Negative. Would you like to know the albums you missed out on?
No, because Pete's just decided we're doing melodrama. Thanks, Pete.
What is this?
We're covering it now.
We're coloring.
We're covering Melodrone's Fashionably Uninvited for no reason other than Pete has just posted it, probably in the wrong chat. That's never stopped us.
Are we actually gonna cover Box by Melodrome? Are we gonna say that?
No, just the song.
Just the song, Fashionably Uninvited.
Did he put more into that post than the one song? No. I don't think so.
No. Right.
But you picked an hour and 40 minutes of music total.
Perfect.
Yeah. I haven't picked that long, so that's fine.
And I had a plan this week, and then as we were recording today, I looked at it. I looked at what else I had in the pipeline. I'm like, you know what? Changing it up. This
Oh,
week
yeah.
this is a shout out to my friend Avi and my father, who have both requested me to cover stuff over the break, and we're doing it this week. Avi suggested we do Aquarium by Aqua after listening to our Around the World episode, and my dad said you should listen to The
All right.
Cars by The Cars. So we're listening to both.
All right.
I got no complaints on either. I'm gonna be honest.
So that's Aquarium by Aqua, The Cars by The Cars, Volume 1, Engineering de Poitrine? I don't know.
Engine de poitrine.
Engine de Poitrine. Typo Negatives, Bloody Kisses. The single Fashionably Uninvited by Mellowdrome. That from Pete. And Ritz chose Distress Tolerance by Craning.
Yep.
That'll be it for this episode. Stay tuned for our next one. My name is Dominic. You can catch me online. Oh god, I have to pull up my Blue Sky. I'm doing Blue Sky now. My profile. It's at dacichocky.bsky.social. I also edit this podcast, so look for me there.
I have been Riddlin. You can catch me probably just on my Insta or on my website or my Bandcamp. They're places. Instagram's directory, making CDs hopefully now. We'll see.
I have been Trix, and you can catch me rooting through Ritz's trash.
Manny, you want anything to say? Manny? Anything? I don't know if any of that came through. Aggressive purring and licking lips.
Aw.
Anyway, that's
I
us
want
for
you to
tonight.
sleep on my bed still.
Have a wonderful evening, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.